This is Mac OS Ken.
Circle the 9th of September in Sharpie. Say so long to CFO Maestri. And an Alabama Apple store gets a refresh. It is Tuesday, the 27th of August, 2024. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken. Brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by 1Password Extended Access Management, helping businesses like yours secure every sign-in for every app on every device. Learn more at onepassword.com/product/XAM. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSCan. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman was only off by 24 hours. I told you yesterday of the writer's assertion that Apple planned to hold this fall's premiere product announcement on Tuesday, the 10th of September. Playing the Guess Again card, Apple sent invitations to select members of the press Monday, inviting them out to Apple Park 2 Mondays hence. You heard me. Apple Insider says the Cupertino company has invited select individuals out to join them in person for a special Apple event at the Steve Jobs Theater at Apple Park. According to the invitation, it's Glowtime. It's what? The art and associated animation on Apple's events page are apparent references to the makeover on the way for Siri. A piece on the invitation and event from 9 to 5 Mac says Siri's new UI with Apple Intelligence is that of a soft, colorful glow around the borders of the iPhone. Explaining further, the report says the reference to Glowtime is clearly a play on Showtime, and the animation represents the beautiful, glowing colors of the new Siri with Apple Intelligence. As far as current models go, only last year's Pro and Pro Max models of iPhone 15 will be able to handle Apple Intelligence, and yet speculation has every iPhone 16 able to do so. The aforementioned 9 to 5 Mac piece says the consumer end of the iPhone 16 line will be fitted with last year's Pro-level processor, which should mean Apple Intelligence for everyone. That's been the rumor for a while now, though we won't actually know that until Apple says that. A report over the weekend from the Elec had Apple calling on manufacturers to make 67% of the iPhones manufactured between now and year's end either a Pro or a Pro Max. That would seem to leave Apple room to keep its AI functions at the pricier end of the line, but we'll find out in a couple of weeks. To this point, the only physical products people have expected are iPhones, Apple Watches, and something or some things from the AirPods line. All of a sudden, though, there's talk of an iPad mini as well. Another piece from Apple Insider had Bloomberg's Mark Gurman getting back on that horse. According to a post from Mark Gurman, according to a piece from Apple Insider, Apple sources describe the Mac Mini as constrained, which makes him believe a possible refresh is coming. Apple hasn't done anything with iPad mini since the release of the 6th edition in 2021. While Apple Insider doesn't expect much, if anything, in the way of external changes, inside changes might be made to make way for AI. The way the site sees it, if Apple does intend the iPad mini 7 to support Apple Intelligence, it will need an A17 Pro or an M series processor. The current processor is an A15, so either one would provide a significant processing upgrade to the diminutive tablet. While Gurman's post says he wouldn't be surprised to see it upgraded for AI, he doesn't say anything about the Glowtime event. For its part, Apple Insider views an iPad mini announcement window as unpredictable. The way that site sees it, it could happen in a couple of weeks, could also be held for an event later this fall, or even just a press release. If you didn't get an invitation to the mothership, you are not alone. Put another way, we can all watch Apple's Glowtime event alone, together. As mentioned earlier, Apple's made space for the event on its event page, inviting every T, D, and H to stop by and watch it. Additionally, a piece from Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company has already fired up the placeholder for the event on YouTube. Glowtime hits at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, other times on other parts of the planet. 9th of September. Tell your friends. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, 1Password Extended Access Management. Picture your company's security like a college campus. Well-planned paths to get from building to building, and grooves beaten into the ground that people actually use to get from building to building. Who can blame them? It's faster. Those planned paths are the devices your company hands out, the apps IT approves, and the employee IDs you can manage. The grooved paths are the unmanaged devices your people bring in, the apps IT doesn't even know they're using, and the IDs that really should have been deactivated a long time ago. The well-manicured paths are still well-manicured, and who knows what's happening with that other stuff. That's where 1Password Extended Access Management comes in. It puts all those unmanaged devices, unknown applications, and rogue identities under your control, making sure every user credential is strong and protected, every device is known and healthy, and every app is visible. 1Password Extended Access Management solves the problems traditional identity and access management and mobile device management miss. It is security for the way people work today. It's available now to companies with Okta and Microsoft Entra, and in beta for Google Workspace customers. Check it out at onepassword.com/product/XAM. That's onepassword.com/product/XAM. One might think that the media event would be the only big news for Apple on Monday, but that one would be mistaken. In fairness, though, it's the only news that will matter to most. The other big news came via press release that had the company announcing a shuffling in its executive ranks. According to the release, Chief Financial Officer Luca Maestri will transition from his role on the 1st of January, 2025. Maestri will continue to lead the corporate services teams, including information systems and technology, information security, and real estate and development, reporting to Apple CEO Tim Cook. Of Mr. Maestri, Cook was quoted as saying, "Luca has been an extraordinary partner in managing Apple for a long time. He has been instrumental in improving and driving the company's financial performance, engaging with shareholders, and instilling financial discipline across every part of Apple. We're fortunate that we will continue to benefit from his leadership and insight that have been the hallmark of his tenure at the company." Taking Maestri's CFO spot, Kevin Perek, Apple's VP of Financial Planning and Analysis. Having called Apple his work home for 11 years, Perek has held a few leadership roles in the company. He came to Apple after leadership roles with Thomson Reuters and General Motors as well. And CEO Cook had nice things to say about him too. Quoting those, "For more than a decade, Kevin has been an indisposable member of Apple's finance leadership team, and he understands the company inside and out. His sharp intellect, wise judgment, and financial brilliance make him the perfect choice to be Apple's next CFO." Now please, to mark the transition, let us all join in a congratulatory chorus of, "For he's a jolly good onceler." The Maestri-Perek shuffle wasn't the only Apple exec news on Monday. An incredibly short post from Seeking Alpha says an Apple VP has joined the board of Zoom. According to the news blip, Zoom Video Communications named Apple's Vice President Worldwide Sales, Mike Fenger, as an independent director on its board, effective immediately. In a press release from the video chat juggernaut, Zoom CEO said, Mike's experience at Apple and companies including GE and his proven track record of global leadership bring valuable insights that align perfectly with our vision. We're excited to see the fresh perspective and innovative ideas he'll contribute as we continue driving our growth and success. And finally today, news of new digs for one Alabama Apple store. A little over a week ago, Michael Stieber's Tabletop said that Apple was prepping a new home for Apple Bridge Street in Huntsville. A message posted on Apple's site just days before said a brand new Apple Bridge Street is coming soon. And when they said soon, they meant it. A follow-up post from Stieber says the new store, which is in the same Bridge Street town center as its predecessor, will open this Saturday, the 31st of August, at 10 a.m. local time. It'll be the first store opening since the beginning of summer, according to Mr. Stieber. macOS Ken, brought to you by me, and sponsored by 1Password Extended Access Management. Learn more at onepassword.com/product/XAM. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSCan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.